Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's I, Mr. Sean, here with another opinion piece. The way this one's going to work is this one is going to go to members first, and then 24 hours later, it's going to be available to everybody here on YouTube. As we try to meet our goals for the year, both with channel growth and monetary income, I want to give a little sneak peek every so often to kind of whet the appetite on what you get when you become a member. Most of the members exclusive videos will stay completely member exclusive, but, I do give a little sneak preview here and there, especially if I think I have a message that I want to reach a wider audience with. And these member-exclusive videos will be opinion pieces. It can't all be Lost Media and Reddit stories. So this is just a little bit of things I believe, things I think about, and I want to share them with you. I do have a platform for it, so why not? And today's topic is that we need to stop lying about money. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, first and foremost, they say money can't buy happiness, and that is a lie, or at the very least, it's less than a half-truth. It's maybe a quarter truth. Yes, in a purely clinical idea, yes, money alone is not enough to buy happiness. Just having money is not going to make you happy, but it's the things that you can do with money, or the things that money allows you to either do or not worry about, that is one of the keys to lasting happiness. The Beatles said, "Money can't buy me love," and while this is technically true, most marriages end due to arguments about money. So, if you have enough money, and you have love, money can't buy love, but it can help maintain it. The best things in life are free? Not really. Some of the most fun experiences cost a hell of a lot of money. Life is full of wants, and how do you obtain your wants? Well, through money, but often the money we have there's only enough to spend on our needs. So while not all of your problems can be solved with money, it can get rid of at least 85% of them, because 85% of problems and stresses in our day-to-day lives are typically caused by the lack of money. But the thing is that it's very hard to consistently get more money, because the people who have the money don't really want to give you the money. They want to give you other things in place of money, because they want to keep their money, because they know that having that money gets rid of 85% of their problems. And because it's so hard to get lots of money, and it's so hard to give up lots of money once you have money to help, make life easier for other people, we have created a society that lies about money in an attempt to make people seem like they're in the wrong when they say that they are motivated by money. What's the phrase in so many pieces of media where, someone goes into the music industry and they get really big, and someone goes, "What happened to you, man? You changed. You used to be about the music." No one has ever been about the music. Heck, Taylor Swift, the most successful musician, is not about the music. Taylor Swift is also about the money. She just knows that the music she is making is going to make her money. So the fact that she seems to enjoy her music making process and performing, that is a bonus. But ultimately, if nobody was paying her, I very much doubt Taylor Swift would be putting as much effort into her music as she does. And in the end, everyone is doing what they do for money. Now, they do say if you enjoy what you do, well, you'll never work a day in your life. And again, this is a half truth. If you love what you do, and what you do pays your bills, and then some, then you will never work a day in your life, because you're getting paid lots of money to do what you love. But that is also something that is very hard to make happen. It is funny to me to see businesses, they will spend a ton of money trying to placate people from asking for more money. What do? Well, it's like, "Oh, we have pizza parties," or we keep it fun here. And it's like, that's great. I'd rather not be here. So if you could make it worth my time to be here, because ultimately, I don't care how fun the workplace is, it's still a job. But the workplace dynamic is another way they try to trick people into going, yeah, it's not about the money. You're basically trained from day one to lie and eventually hopefully believe that you're not there for the money. What's the question they ask you in your interview? Why do you want to work here? And you're really not allowed to say, well, because the starting salary is something that is a livable wage for me, and I also hope that there will be opportunities for me to make even more money and get those raises in a quick enough succession that the rise of inflation and prices of everything doesn't make that raise obsolete. When I was working for the Giant Eagle Corporation, just before I left, they gave everybody who had started within that year a cost of living raise. And so the funny thing is that people like me who had worked at that company for a decade and was still making less than $12 an hour got nothing. But when I left, my roommate at the time, who had just started working there within the year, within 2 years, he was making more money than I had been with just the standard, entry-level raises, 2 years worth, and that cost of living increase. He was making more money than I was after working there for 10 years. And those of us who had been loyal to the company, who were not new and got nothing, we were like, hey, what about us? And like, hey guys, you're not really being team players. You got to think about the team. And the thing about being a team player is it usually works out better for the team than it does the player. The player usually gets the shaft while they're forced to be a team player. It's the work and money equivalent of being the bigger person when someone else is the one misbehaving. And why are we talking about this? Well, recently I had, my 1 year annual review with my current job, and part of that is discussing what would you like for a raise, and I gave them a number. I knew it was more than they were likely to give me, but I was ever hopeful. I essentially asked for a $2 an hour raise, which is a lot. But at the same time, I had worked really hard this past year to take over a lot of things that are beyond my job description so that I was worth a lot, essentially. And while I know for 100% that it has been told I'm not getting the full amount I asked for, we are still in discussion, so maybe I'll get a little closer to that than they were originally willing to offer. Now, why did I ask for so much? Well, it's because due to the instability of the job market and the unrealistic expectations of some of the companies that I worked for, I have not gotten a pay raise in 3 years. And in fact, this previous year, I took a pay cut for the chance to build something. I knew there was room for expansion. There was things I could take on that would, get me into a better position. And ultimately that, that $2, while it is not the company I work for's fault, that $2 that I wanted was making up for basically the workforce screwing me over for 3 years through layoffs, or the company I was with right before coming to my current one, they expected me to learn the entirety of their very complicated system in under 3 weeks, knowing full well that I had never used it before, and also they had wanted to pay me even less than they agreed to pay me for. They wanted to pay me essentially minimum wage to take over as a office manager for a very disorganized office, and when I could not perfect the task within 3 weeks, I was let go. Before that, the company I worked for just prior to that, it turned out to be an absolute nightmare to work for, so I had to find something else. I was only there a month and a half before I put in my resignation because they were just that bad. And then the two companies prior to that, I was affected by layoffs. So, that was 4 different companies that had let me down in one way or another, and my income had suffered for it in the previous year. So I was trying to just get back up to where I should have been had, this country's job market not been absolutely atrocious. But that's not really the point of this video. It's just what got me thinking about it. And the idea is that people go, hey, what can we do to make it better for you to be here and for you to do better work? And the answer should always be, give me more money. Because ultimately, whatever your job is, it's a job. Unless you're working for yourself, if you're working for someone else, you're doing a job. And you would much rather not be doing that job. You would much rather be at home or wherever you enjoy spending your free time, and you would love to have the money to be able to do that and not have to go to a job. So the point of the job is to make sure you can do those things in your free time, and that costs money. But because, again, nobody wants to give up the money they have, there's all these ways that they try to make it seem like if you say you are motivated by money, you are being selfish. And I'm here to tell you, it's okay. Be selfish. When I worked for the gas station that I used to run, my regional boss would go, we had a terrible staffing problem. He's like, how do we get people to want to work here? And I said, pay more money. He's like, no, what do we do to make this place somewhere where people want to work? I'm like, pay them more money. He's like, yeah, but no, you don't get it. It's a gas station. Nobody wants to work here. There's no way to make working at the gas station fun, but you can make working at the gas station bearable if you pay people a decent wage, which of course they were not willing to do. And therefore, we continued to have a staffing problem. And when you ask for the raise, when you're being selfish and they go, well, we can't afford to give that to everybody, go, well, I don't care about everybody. I care about me. I'm doing this, that, and the other thing, and these people aren't. So why would you give them what you're giving me? I'm better than those people. I mean, that is if you're actually doing better. You see, because people don't want to be at their jobs, a lot of times people put in the bare minimum. And the problem being is that those who wish to excel, the idea is that, oh, everyone else is putting the bare minimum in. I'm going to do more. That means I'm going to get more. And that's not really true most of the time because, you've been doing what you've been doing at the rate of pay that you're at. So when you come to ask for more pay, well, they're kind of like, well, no, we just kind of expect that from you. And if you go, hey, you expect that from other people, well, you don't expect that from other people, they go, well, we expect more of you. And it's like, that's when you kind of have to come back with like, well, I'm not doing this for free. And I can do the bare minimum like everybody else if you want to give me the bare minimum. And again, usually that doesn't go well. And the reason it doesn't go well is even the people who are purposely trying to keep the money from you have grown up in this society where they are able to look at someone asking for money and going, oh, they're selfish. That's not money. They should be here because they believe in the work. And it's like, I believe that the work can get me money. All right. It's not selfish. It's survival. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the shelves, people, but stuff's not getting any cheaper. And, God King Papa Trump just made things a hell of a lot worse with all the tariffs. Small incremental raises over time is no longer enough to sustain yourself unless you're already doing quite comfortably. The idea is that people need to make as much money as possible in as quick a period of time so that when our money suddenly becomes worth even less, we have enough stockpiled that we're going to be okay. It's not even about getting rich at this point. It's about having enough. And to make that happen, we have to stop lying that we are motivated by more than money, at least when it comes to our jobs. I mean, in your day-to-day life, you're motivated by love, you're motivated by friendship, by hunger, by sex, by whatever, by pure serotonin release. But when it comes to going to work every day, if you're there for a reason other than the money, man, I wish I had your life. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't hate my job. In fact, some parts of it are really cool, but if they stop paying me, I'd sure as hell stop showing up. I think it's hilarious that every time there's, a government shutdown, they say that, well, the police and the firefighters and all that will still have to work, but they're not going to get paid till we figure this out. And it's like, you are fooling yourself if you think that I'm going to run into a burning building or try and, point a gun at somebody who's just committed a crime if I'm not getting paid for that. I mean, maybe I'm a psychopath, who knows, but personally, I wouldn't do that if I wasn't being paid. Your job is so you can earn money so that you can live your life in a comfortable and somewhat stress-free fashion. Like, you're always going to have stress no matter how much money you have. But if you can eliminate financial stress from the equation, then you have the brain power, you have the emotional battery to deal with it. And in order for things to change, as with any type of change, we have to look at things realistically. We need to stop lying about money. We need to stop saying that money as a motivation is a bad thing, and we need to just embrace the fact that life costs money. And if you want to live a good one, then you need as much of it as possible. And let's say, let's go back to the original thing we were saying. Money can't buy happiness. But would you rather be miserable and broke or miserable and wealthy? And I want you to think about that the next time you go in for your quarterly, annual, half-year, whatever review at your job is the one where you discuss your raise. And I want you to be honest. I want you to say, look, I love you guys here, but I'm here because I have to make a living, and I need you to understand that, and I need you to give me a raise in accordance with the needs of me and my family, and that we need money to survive, and that all the pizza parties or fun casual Fridays in the world aren't going to change that. And if you can't see that, well, then I'm sorry, but I'm going to start putting resumes out. Don't let people tell you to feel bad just because you're trying to survive, and maybe find a little bit of happiness. Thanks, guys. I'm Mr. Sean. This is Mr. Sean Productions, and if you'd like to give me some money, consider either joining here on YouTube or on Patreon, or maybe going over to Mercari and eBay and buying one of my minis. And until next time, Alpha Great Day, and it even made it tomorrow. Bye-bye.